for a time there, I think Hodor could have moved in and just done a huge amount of damage.
Yeah, he definitely saw a window and took advantage of it.
But now we're going to be moving into our game number 8. It's going to be Estrella versus Druglord. And so now this is going to be a sticky predicament for YMCMB, as they've gotten in a huge commanding position of winning 4 in a row to have the score be 4-1, and SCA, StarCraft Ascension, now coming back to win 2 in a row to bring the score to 4-3. And the momentum is clearly in their favor.
That's very true, but Estrella does have to pull off the same thing that Drunken Boy was able to earlier in the match, which is winning 4 in a row. If he loses a single game, his team will lose this match.
We've seen it happen before. It could happen again, but is it going to happen this time as we go into game number 8? Also, stick around with us, because after these matches, we're going to be having an interview with one of the team captains. Also, thanks for joining us this evening. We see there's still a lot of you with us. We appreciate your viewership. This is the StarCraft 2 Community Team League, where it is all about you, the community. So actually, I haven't done it in a while, but let me take a second to share this link here. It is going to be a link to our Reddit post. Do us a favor, if you're enjoying this cast, go out and upvote that so the rest of the see what's going on here. It is a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely, and thank you so much again for joining us. If you would like, please tweet some feedback to us. We'd love to hear what you think of the cast. If there are some things that you would change if you were in charge, we'd love to hear that feedback as well.
All right, with all that said, one more thing, I'd like to say big thanks to DOS Keyboard. The winners of this league, the winning team, is going to receive 5 DOS keyboards, so that's a pretty big deal. So it's definitely nice to be have the importance of this league recognized by sponsors out there, and the viewership by viewers like you will only make that increase over time as well, so thank you. As we jump into game number 8, in the upper right hand corner, the hero from StarCraft Ascension, wearing pink still because pink is awesome. It is Estrella.
And representing Young Money, Cash Money Billionaires, trying to wrap up the job that Drunken Boy started for his team a few matches ago, or a few games ago, it is Druglord.
Now we are going to be moving into our first PvZ of the night, so this will be a new matchup, so new things will happen. Looks like both really good players, really good teams. This is both of these players are in the upper section of the group, so these are both teams that came out of group stage 1 very highly ranked. So either one of these teams has a really good shot at winning the whole thing.
They absolutely do, but you know, it's really tough to win 4 games in a row. You really have to have a lot of endurance, and they don't get breaks. You know, this is just one after the other. So Estrella definitely has some work ahead of him. It will be interesting, like you said, this is the first PvZ of the night, and I have to say, on Thursday when we cast, we definitely saw some really cool PvZ strategies. I'd like to see some similar play out of these players tonight.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, because you know the points that are garnered by the winning team of this match will go a long way to determining who gets those big long buys in the bracket. Like I said, if you go to SC2CTL.com, you can see a graphic depiction of what the playoff bracket will look like, and the winning teams in the upper groups basically get to skip 2 rounds of the playoffs.
And that's a big deal with the caliber of play that we've seen from these teams. The less time that you have to play in the playoff stage of the tournament definitely gets you that much closer to winning and being the champion and claiming those DOS keyboards.
So it looks like Estrella going to be putting 2 workers in each gas as he gets his play going here. Cybernetics Core going to be going down as the gateway, and second pylon finishes. Expansion going down for Druglord. We've really not seen so far in this league, we have not seen very many Forge Fast expands. It's been largely gateway expands.
Yeah, you know, it's been interesting to watch that play evolve, you know, and it's always, the metagame's a lot of fun in terms of strategies like that, because it seems like the opposing team gets used to the strategy and then finds a way to counter it, and then the other team, or like in the case of FFE, Protoss stops doing Forge Fast Expand, and then Zerg stops preparing for that. You know, it's just, it goes back and forth. It remains a strong strategy. It's just all about the reaction.
Absolutely. Now is Estrella putting down his expansion, so now the players are going to be on an even footing here. So the big decision for Druglord will be, with this Overlord coming in, seeing that the Nexus has just gone down, is he going to go for that third base, or is he going to go for that early, 12 to 14 minute roach push, which has been so deadly so far?
It is a very powerful move, but if it's scouted and dealt with early, then that can spell disaster for the Zerg.
It looks like that mothership core is gonna wander its way across the map to see what it can see. A couple Zerglings headed out as well. Overlord around the right side as Estrella sets up the beginnings of his wall here. What kind of tech are we going to be seeing from Zerg? None so far. He doesn't have any gas down yet even. So he must be going for that third base without any gas at the 5-minute point.
And this is really fun strategy to watch. It's heavy macro. You just try and get as much... Oh, no.
I was muttering to myself, is he going to get the force field down?
Oh, no.
Didn't, so he's going to have to deal with these couple lings back here. 2 lings in your base at this stage of the game can be hugely annoying because you don't have a huge number of range units. You have those sentries are able to clean that up as he works on completing his wall here. He is putting the Stargate in the front of the wall, as I love to see these days. But looks like Druglord going to be going for a lot of queens. He's got 3 queens out front putting down creep tumors, so he wants to get that creep across the map really fast. And a lot of times when we've seen this, it's been Swarm Host, which I love seeing Swarm Host, but hate playing against Swarm Host.
It's a cool strategy, but it can be very risky. He's got to get his positioning right. He's got to get the defenses just right.
Yeah.
Macro hatch is going down, so this is going to be a 2-base play, whatever it is.
Yeah, we still have not seen any... Okay, 2 gases down at the natural expansion, but only 1 is being mined from. So far, 116 gas in the bank, still no Zergling speed, although 10 Zerglings are being created, so I would say it'd be silly to not see Zergling speed coming down. 2 Evo chambers, so he wants to get a really quick +1/+1 upgrade as well. So I'm suspecting a Zergling Roach heavy max push with upgrades? Question mark?
Could be. We still don't see any lair tech going down. So he is hanging on to that gas, but there is no metabolic boost. There is no Baneling nest. He is getting the +1 attack upgrade now, so the lings are definitely a given.
This creep spread is absolutely insane. He's moving this creep across the map so fast with these 2 queens putting down new creep tumors all the time. He's going to be at his opponent's base before you know it. And Estrella, so far, I mean, looks like he's stacking up, going to get to about 4 to 5 Phoenix, and then move out. But it looks like he's going to split those up and do some Overlord sniping in the meantime. But see, he still has no idea what's going on. There's Spore Crawlers going on now as Druglord has seen that there's a Stargate out, Phoenix out. 2 Spore Crawlers in each base are going to do go a long way towards thwarting those Phoenix out. But those Phoenix are going to see some tasty Overlord meat in the middle of the map, which is going to give Druglord enough time to get those Spore Crawlers up.
But he also sees that group of lings heading across the map. There are some sentries and zealots at the front, so they're going to have a hard time getting anything done, especially without speed. But
these Spore Crawlers haven't quite popped yet, so he's got a couple seconds in here to do a little bit of damage, catching a few drones in the transfer path here. But Overlord is out of his position. His queen out of position too. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be able to pick this queen up in a little bit of micro. He's gonna easily be able to kill this queen. Great play by Estrella finding an opening, but these 3 more queens out of position too, but they are going to be able to kill 1 Phoenix and shoo the Phoenix away for now.
And this is something that I'm surprised Druglord doesn't have, which is creep spread connecting his natural and his main. That's something that you usually want because those queens are so slow off creep.
Yeah, he sent those queens right out to the front to begin with, and now we've got 9-minute, 30-second Zergling speed coming down. It was so delayed because he put down that gas so late, but he's got his +1/+1 almost done.
That's an interesting choice that you don't see very often. The force field's trapping so many lings, and that is going to be a lot of kills, but he did have to put down 5 force fields in order to trap those lings, so that is a lot of energy expended.
Yeah, if we look at the units lost, it's just over $1,000 now for the Zerg and $250 for Protoss, only losing 1 unit so far, so units lost definitely in favor of the Protoss player Estrella, but not a huge amount yet at this point. Estrella now putting down his 3rd base as Druglord going crazy with expansions, getting his 3rd and 4th all at the same time. Phoenix still on the map, scouting around. They're going to see this 3rd. Not be aware of the 4th yet, but they are going to be... Oh, there's some nice juicy drones here in the resupply line that they're going to be able to pick off probably 3, 4, 5 of them before... Oh, actually, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage because there's no queens in sight, no queens being called to the scene.
And he's not pulling them off either.
Yeah, the Spore Crawler is not even close to finishing, but it looks like energy is going to dwindle down on the Phoenix, so that's going to be the thing that holds them off for now. But nice, some nice damage there done as 8 workers total have been killed now. So not a ton of damage, but I mean, it's something.
That's true.
If we go to units, it's 61 probes to 71 drones, so Druglord getting close to that 75 number that he wants to have. So we're going to see some big aggression coming out of him here pretty soon as Infestation Pit goes down. +2/+2 melee and armor attacks upgrades going down. 20 Zerglings in production. So Druglord's going to make an issue of this here before too long.
Druglord has been doing a really great job of playing this particular game with so few units. He's gotten a few Zerglings that he's done some little strikes with, but he's mostly been focusing on economy. Now that he's got 4 bases up that are practically fully saturated. I mean, they've both got they got around 16 to 18 workers on them, which is actually ideal for their maximum mining capacity.
Hive going down, so Vipers are going to be in play here before you know it. A guy with a long name in chat saying Protoss has 20 more food than Druglord, but I mean, does it really matter? Because it's going to be 4 bases here soon for Druglord, and he's going to be going up in the supply way faster than Protoss is, as now it's even been even to just under 20. But
this could be a trouble position for Druglords as this giant Protoss push is coming in, and he doesn't have much but Zerglings to deal with this.
He's going for the huge counterattack with Zerglings alone going in. Oh, but it's going to force the recall, so Estrella has to come back to defend this, but he's splitting up the Zerglings, half of them going into the natural. He's going to lose a lot of these Zerglings, especially if any force fields go down.
But it's a natural, the single Zealot there holding the gate. The Colossus doing so much damage.
Great play by both players, but Druglord doing a really good swing around there to force Estrella to pull back because he knew that he didn't have enough to deal with that straight on. So if Estrella would have pushed in right there, it would have spelled a lot of trouble for Druglord. As the Hydralisk speed now coming in, +2/+2 about to finish, more Queens in production, more Gas Geysers in production. So Druglord now just in the power-up phase as Estrella is now going to start to weaken compared to Druglord's army.
I've got to wonder if Hydras are the right choice. He may not make many. He may just make a few to deal with some of those Phoenix, but if they get caught by those Colossi, they are going to get obliterated. We do see an Ultralisk Cavern being produced, though.
Yeah, those Ultras are the bane of the Protoss existence. Let me tell you what, if he can mass out some of these Ultralisks as he's starting to stack up the gas, he's got a nice mineral bank, but if he can stack up these Ultralisks along with some Hydras, it's going to be bad news bears here. Now, as these Phoenix are still in the fray here, scouting out what's going on, but Estrella is going to be moving down to take out the Zergling on this tower here, but Druglord doing another great play. As soon as he sees Estrella moving out, he's sending these Zerglings into the natural expansion, which is largely open except for this Zealot here, and cannons, which is going to force him away, but still it's going to make Estrella think twice about attacking.
Well, Estrella's feeling pretty comfortable, though, with the wall-off that he's got, although that Colossus is no longer there, so that Zealot does go down, and he did recall back to his natural, but the Lings are just moving straight into the main. And with the economy that Druglord has, he doesn't care if he loses all these Zerglings. He doesn't need them. He can just resupply them like that.
You're absolutely right, Gallegation. And now these Zerglings also split off to do some damage at the front of the natural, but he's warped in more Zealots to keep them out. But, I mean, seriously now, let's look at the upgrades. We've got +1/+1 upgrades for Estrella, and on Druglord's side we've got +2/+2 with +3/+3 coming in, adrenal glands, chitinous plating, and 4 Ultralisks.
We do see a warp prism, but it's on creep, and Druglord's going to see all this. Queens are moving in to try and take down, and look at all those Queens just moving in. They do have to deal with those Zealots, but we have some micro here and probably a transfuse as the Lings come in to clean it up.
This is looking like big trouble for Estrella, because as we noted the food counts earlier, they've totally switched. Druglord is now max, Estrella is at 175, and he's going to have all these Ultralisks popping out, 3 more in production. Adrenal glands about to finish, +3/+3 about to finish.
80 Zerglings in production at the moment.
Those Zerglings do unbelievable damage with adrenal glands and +3/+3, even against these 3 Colossus. I mean, if he can get those in there around behind the army with the Ultras in front, that Protoss army just evaporates.
And this is just, Druglord was just able to kind of sit back and do whatever he wanted for so long. Estrella, trying to get some pushes in, but really not able to capitalize on the early macro play that Druglord showed.
And here goes Druglord again. He was swinging those Zerglings around to do a counterattack, but he's going to do exactly like I said, swing the Zerglings around the back of the Protoss army, and he's going to force the recall, but holy cow, if he would not have recalled, he would have lost an entire army before you blinked your eyes.
Estrella does have a high Templar in an interesting position, but he's not going to be able to do the same kind of shenaniganry that he was able to do before because of that creep.
Colossus out of position.
But so many Zerglings getting killed. That Colossus has 8 shield and 3 health points, or hull points, rather. And just, this army is so huge. Archons moving forward. Oh, they're hallucinated Archons, and Storm's going down, killing all the Zerglings. Only Ultralisk left, but they are doing huge damage to those Colossus. The Stalkers moving around are able to clean all that up. That was a huge loss, but
let's be honest, it doesn't even matter. Druglord's in the process of remaxing at 200 already. He's at 182, 188, 190. He's back at 200.
And he's 5th base. He's got another base.
9 Ultralisks in production. Zerglings. That chitinous plating is about to finish. He actually did that attack right before that finished, but that extra +2 armor is going to make it even stronger. And Estrella just now getting his armor level 2.
Estrella has taken a 4th base of his own down in the, what is that, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock position?
Bottom
And making,
right.
bottom right, making many gateways.
So we're going to see the big engagement coming in now. He's got the Zerglings on the other side. He's sending in the, Ultralisk getting a little out of position there. Zerglings weren't quite ready.
That's true, but I think he did that on purpose to get the army a little bit away from those Colossus as the Zerglings go in, get great surrounds. He is taking huge damage and wasn't able to pick off those Colossus, so I'm not sure if that engagement went very well for him.
Yeah, Estrella being smart now and starting to produce a lot of Immortals. Immortals is definitely the unit you want against these Ultralisk. Immortals do so much damage and can hold up to that extra attack. Dark Shrine coming down also, so he's going to try and get a little bit of damage in on the harassment side, but oh my gosh, 4 more Ultralisks coming in. Druglord is going to have so many Ultras. If we look at the units, he's got 10 already, 4 more coming in, 80 drones. Zerglings is now down to only 50, but I mean, these Zerglings and Ultras are going to be crazy because the upgrades are so far in favor of Druglord. I mean, Void Raid's coming down now to supplement as well, but the Void Raids just are not going to cut it because he doesn't have any air upgrades.
But at the same time, Druglord doesn't really have anything that shoots up. He is prepared with those Hydralisk upgrades that he got earlier in the game.
He does have 6 queens, so that's something, but he has so many spread out bases, those queens aren't going to be all in one spot.
And that creep spread has been cleaned up fairly well.
The Zerglings here trying to peel away the army, but the Mothership Core is going to see all the Ultralisks coming in here, so that Mothership Core is likely going to try and meet up with Estrella's army to recall down to this base, but is it going to be too late? These Ultras are so powerful down here, it's going to make this base evaporate.
And there are just so many Ultralisks there, 14 Ultralisks just tearing through this base.
Oh, and look at Druglord, he's pulled the army of Estrella down to the bottom base, and the Zerglings filter right into the natural and the main. This is going to do so much damage because Estrella's not ready. He warps in some zealots to the main, but he's attacking on 3 fronts right now. He's just peeling Estrella.
Storms on the Ultralisks, though. They are taking big damage. They are all going to get cleaned up, which is a huge economic loss, but he's got the bank to resupply it. And he does just that.
Yep. Back to 200 almost instantly. He's playing the true Zerg Swarm style. Those Ultralisks do take forever to complete, though. Let's mention that. But these Zerglings.
But he's got the time because he was able to effectively shut down 2 bases. However, this army is at the 7 o'clock position where this base is, and only spine crawlers are there, which aren't going to last very long. He does pull the drones because he knows that this base is going down. Spore crawler being produced there, that's almost certainly not going to finish.
Yeah, Druglord did not even flinch at that base going down. He knows he's got one at the top, so I don't even think he was concerned about that. He's now getting all of his Ultras out. He's got some Overseers here to deal with any cloaked DTs. I think he knows those are out. He's going to move in and get the surround with Ultralisks on this army. Nice.
And another recall.
Yeah, recall. But even while they were in the recall phase, there was a lot of units that were taking a lot of damage there. Here now as we're moving back across the map by Druglord. 6 Templar in production here as he's holding up here at his natural expansion.
And now Estrella's only at 30 probes at this point, and his main and his natural are nearly mined out. His 3rd base is about halfway mined out. And he's got to be hurting here compared to the 74 drones that Druglord has. He's just got the economy. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, the Ultras are going to have a hard time getting through this choke here. There's actually a lot of Immortals there, so those Immortals are going to do pretty huge damage to this army as they just decide to forego that and go into the natural. But if they get in this choke here, but Estrella's moving out, getting himself in a tight position, but moving back.
And this is like an entirely Ultralisk army. There's 17 Ultralisks on the field, and there's only 8 Zerglings.
Yeah, Estrella's definitely wishing that he would have gotten a lot more Immortals, I know, at this point, because I've been in that same position so many times. But Druglord going to make a final push here as he moves in, up, beating against this wall here. The Immortal's doing so much damage to those Ultras, pushing him back again. 3 Ultras there in the deep, deep red. Even one of them with... So I'm trying to select it here. One of them has very low HP. We'll leave it at that.
Druglord is taking another base, but Estrella is right there with DTs and Zealots to kill it, not getting the cancel. But it's not as though Druglord can't spare the minerals, having a huge bank and being at 200 yet again.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, as you said. I mean, looking at the banks, Druglord can almost stop mining at this point because Estrella is literally broke. He has nothing. He's hardly mining anything. He's got this base here sort of mining, but that's his only mining base. So now it's just a matter of time. And I don't know if there's any way that he can come back from this. Druglord just has such a great economy, such a massive army.
Estrella's got to try, though, and his army is moving down the bottom of the map, breaking those destructible rocks, heading back in for a base at the 7 o'clock position.
Yeah, Estrella, if he organizes his army well here, he can do a lot of damage, because he does have, it looks like, 4 Immortals and a lot of Archons, but he's just going to take out that base and recall.
Which I think is the smart move. He does not want to engage that army. He wants to get in hits where he can. I mean, because it's just Ultralisks. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this huge ball of Ultras. There are some Hydralisks on the map now, but they're not the real threat. They're more just trying to clean up these Phoenix and these Warp Prisms that are running around.
It looks like Druglord is ready to make an issue of this, though, and Estrella getting himself in an awkward position. He's separating himself on the opposite side of that ramp. The ramp has been the thing that's held him in this game so far. If these Ultras can catch this army out of position, the Mothership Core is there with enough energy to recall, so if he can get that on his army to do the recall, but... Oh, it looks like
Druglord
Hydras
is
there are going to take the Mothership Core out.
Oh, that's a huge loss. Now these Ultralisks have free reign of the bases. He can just go and do whatever he wants. And Estrella, realizing that he's kind of in a troubling situation, he's moving in, trying to do some damage to bases, but Druglord just pulls the the drones from that base.
Yeah, Estrella realizing his only option here is a base trade type of scenario, but Druglord has a lot of bases. But he's going to start with one and move in at the upper hand corner, easily take this out and move to another one. But these Ultralisks are going to take out this natural expansion. And I mean, Estrella's got 900 minerals on the bank, so he can rebuild somewhere else. But it's he's lost this game at this point.
And look at this: the drones that were pulled from that base are just deciding, you know what? I've got over 6,000 minerals. I'm just going to make a giant wall of spine crawlers because why not?
Yeah, this is a Broodlord style from Heart of the Wings of Liberty that we used to love. As you just make mass spine crawler through the middle of the map and just slowly move with the Broodlords. But no, it's not Broodlords, it's Ultralisks. Estrella now holding his army up here. Looks like he's maybe getting in position for a recall as he moves the Mothership into the middle. Maybe just preparing just in case.
You know, I'm not sure what Estrella is planning on doing here. He's virtually mined out at his main. He's rebuilding at his natural, but that's virtually mined out as well.
Ultra's doing a nice job of covering the map here to scout for things, as a Ling did come in to see that the natural expansion is rebuilding. Not sure it went if the probes killed it, but Estrella is going to be moving back to his base. Estrella is down to 102 food with, I mean, if we look at the upgrades still, he's got 2-3 upgrades on his army. He does have Blink, he does have Storm, but I don't think any amount of Blink or Storm can defeat. How many are we looking at here? Almost 16 Ultralisks. If we look at the units tab, we got 16 Ultralisks.
I'm not really sure what Druglord's exactly waiting for here. I feel like he could have easily moved in there, and even if he had lost his army, he could have rebuilt it. But, you know, I'm not the Grandmaster in this game, so I'm sure that he has a reason for what he's doing.
It's possibly he knows what position he's in. He's just milking it a little bit to, you know, just... I mean, all these players in here are just really having a lot of fun with this tournament, and, you know, Estrella has a decent army here himself, even though it seems impossible to take out this army, but we have, I mean, if
Swarmos
we didn't see
joining.
strange things happen that way, it would not be StarCraft. Now Estrella
it
moving
seems like Druglord just really wants to play this to attrition. Estrella, again, trying to move in, do what damage he can, but getting out before losing much of anything, which is incredibly smart of him to do. Yeah. We do have a Zealot attacking some drones up at the 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock position.
The thing here for Druglord is he's not really been able to put the clinching blow on because these Ultralisks are so bulky, he really can't get up the big chokes.
But he has been able to catch Estrella's army out of position a number of times, and you can give up those bases and charge in and just destroy everything theoretically.
It looks like all these ultras here are now coming back to deal with this single zealot.
He does have 7 swarm hosts there, just kind of hanging out by his 5 o'clock base.
Yeah, Stray has 0 production right now. It looks like Druglord is researching things. He's got pathogen glands coming down for the infestors, just in case he needs to remax with those. He does have 5k in the bank as Estrella moves out here. Blinks one stalker forward to check on this tower, not wanting to lose that stalker, but he is going to move in and be able to take out this base again as Druglord's army is on the bottom. But Druglord's going to be moving in for the kill now as he's got all those Swarm hosts, all those Ultralists. This is going to be a real hard one for Estrella to defend. Does have also a group of Hydras there to deal with any observers or Mothership Core that Estrella may have as well.
Deciding that after getting all the tech, it is time to end the game. But look at the Archons up there. I mean, that's a huge number of Archons that are blocking that ramp. So he's going to have a hard time getting into the main, but he is going to be able to take out everything else.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would have liked to see differently out of Druglord is a Nidus. Nidus would have been really cool.
I mean, he doesn't need the Nidus though. He's got the Swarm host. He's able to just kind of use free units to push back.
At this point, he doesn't need it now, but, 15 minutes ago, I think it could have ended the game a lot sooner if he would have had a Nidus to be able to... I mean, because the big thing that kept him out of these bases, like where he's going in right now, was these chokes. At the point where there were so many Immortals going on the field.
That is true. Swarm host now burrowing, trying to bait the army out to get some shots in, but those Colossus are right there doing some damage.
Yeah, only one Colossus isn't able to hold the Locust back long enough to not do much damage, so every round of Locusts that do go up there is going to do some damage, and some damage is usually larger than no damage, so...
That's true. Now a single Void Ray and an Observer is going out, trying to pick off those Swarm hosts. They've gotten out of there, and the Hydras are now on patrol, but he's... looks like Druglord's expecting to find bases where there aren't any bases.
Yeah, Estrella just doesn't have the money. I mean, he lost his natural here, so he's rebuilding that again, remote mining the natural because his main is mined out, and the natural is even really close to mined out, but Estrella's gonna, looks like he's gonna make one final push up here and run into a wall of spine crawlers as the Ultralists are gonna
come
back
the Ultras
here.
Are getting the flanking position here.
If history's any tell, he's gonna try and recall here, but the energy on Mothership Core is just enough, and he GG's. So that is going to be win number 5 for YMCMB, taking it out. So that was an amazing series. Really, I mean, this has been, all of the series have been really fun to cast, but this one has been really close throughout the entire thing. Even when YMCMB was up 4-1, you could just have a feeling that StarCraft Ascension was not out of it. Both teams, extremely respectable teams, extremely great players, extremely manner players. It's been a pleasure to cast them this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, players and teams, for